Sam Ovens is a serial entrepreneur who transformed the online course industry. His first major success was a SaaS product called Snap Insect. He sold this company and then transitioned into selling online information courses and masterminds through his company called consulting.com. But over the last year, he's been an extraordinary guy to follow. Sam started consulting.com by selling high-ticket front-end online courses, where the revenue from these courses covered his advertising spend, all whilst allowing him to build an email list and an even higher ticket mastermind in the background. This mastermind is called Quantum, and he charged $36,000 per year for this, and he had a waiting list. However, Sam's business focus has evolved over the last few years, and he has now started to switch his focus to communities and building online communities. He's now started his own SaaS called School, which is a platform for building free and paid communities. This is a really interesting move, as there's lots of benefits to selling online courses if you have the audience. I guess his main reasons for pushing communities over courses, or integrating a community with a course, aside from the fact that he owns his own community platform where you can build and start your own community on there, are probably sustainability and improved client service, and probably improved profitability as well. Here's where it gets interesting. The philosophies driving his new priority focus to community has actually been about for centuries, and he really talks about religious frameworks informing his decisions. And they've stood the test of time with a really simple model, which is a global philosophy and local clusters. And his aim is to help content creators and other business owners create their own communities on his platform called School by following a similar structure. And I really like, and I was listening to a podcast of his, and he speaks about you go to church not for the priest, but normally just to meet up with your local community and to talk about what's been going. You don't just go for the priest, you go for the people who also attend. And that's what it's like with courses and online communities. You don't just buy a course just to be lectured to by the person there. Actually, you can create a better experience, and one that lasts longer, with an online community integrated with a course. And Sam wants to capture this essence in his business model, where people join not just for the knowledge or information, which is becoming ever increasingly easy to access these days, but to stay for the relationships as well, and the partnerships that are formed in these communities. So I think it's clear to me, in a world of ChatGPT, auto DM bots, and an ever increasing sort of detachment from connection and community, that if you're going to start an online business or a side hustle or something like that, an online community is probably a good way of going. And it's actually something that I've engaged with myself in my own freelance work. I help out a couple of nutrition coaches and startups alongside my PhD to help ease the cost of living and to save for a house. One of these nutrition coaches is a guy called Dr. James Moorhen. He's the lead nutritionist at Bristol Bears and has a bunch of other commitments and private clients that he works with. He also has his own mentorship program, and I originally started working with James on some content for his newsletter, which he wanted to get set up, so I helped him build that. But actually we had quite a few conversations over the phone, and I was invited into his mentorship community at the time just to observe and to pick out some key themes for the newsletter. But I noticed that it was in WhatsApp and it was a constant stream of messages, which is really distracting for any sort of high performer, which is the whole essence of mentorship. You want to be a high performer, you want to learn from a high performer, but you can't have a high performance environment in a WhatsApp conversation. You need to have a dedicated platform or structure to it so that you can't be interrupted by other people's messages whilst you're trying to do high quality work, because you can't make any high quality decisions if you're being interrupted 24/7. So I helped him restructure his mentorship program, his one-to-one mentorship program, into an online community management system. I actually went with Circle over School because of the way it handles payments, and I have to say using Circle has been really good for this online community. It's really easy to use, and there are 70 paying members in there now. All of the channels are being used, and there is a real sort of community feel and engaged discussions around performance nutrition. So I would say that's a success. Now the task is to grow it and get the product in front of more people's eyeballs and get more members in, which will increase the strength of the community, increase revenue, and it will actually increase the beneficial results that practitioners will get. Because if you're a nutrition coach and you're trying to coach clients, if you don't know the answer to a question and you're a member of the community, you can ask the group, and so your clients essentially have the wealth of 70 different nutritionists being able to offer advice and guidance on specific problems. So linking this back to Sam Ovens and school and the religious frameworks and stuff, without having consumed any of that content, when faced with the Moorhen Performance, James Moorhen's mentorship group, all of this information wouldn't have been in my brain, and I wouldn't have been able to take a top level view at it and really understand why this needs to change, why the structure needs to change, and how to implement it without having consumed all of that really valuable content. So the lesson is, the content that you consume can really influence the way you do things. It can really influence your personal and your professional development. And this is something that fitness and wellness professionals struggle with. They all copy each other. It becomes a bit of an echo chamber, and there's not really much original thought in this industry. So in this channel, I'm going to try and bring you some new and interesting information to help spark ideas so that you can improve your overall personal life and your professional life as well.